He would only try to remind Nigerians where the country was when we came in, where we are in now, and what we have done in between with the resources available to us.
President Buhari opens up on critics and letter writers about his administration.
We are begging our youth to please not create panic.
I assure them that my people cannot respond if they will not react.
Traditional leaders in Benue cautioned on rumors capable of creating disquiet among communities. Plus, federal government signs escrow agreement crucial to Ogoni environment cleanup. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News tonight. I am Ronke Kolawole reading from Abuja. And Jennifer Igwe will join us from Lagos, while Salamatu Umar Abdullahi will read from Sokoto Network Center. President Muhammadu Buhari says no matter what anybody thinks, the governing All Progressives Congress APC has lived up to expectation in placing Nigeria on the path to sustainable future and prosperity. Speaking at a state banquet organized in his honor in Bauchi, the president gave reasons for not joining issues with authors of letters written against his administration. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari was emphatic that given the circumstances inherited from the misrule of the past, his administration has not failed the nation.
I'm very happy with the performance of our party, the All Progressive Congress. When a letter was written portraying our failure as an administration, my press chap came that he should reply. I say no. I say no for two reasons. One, he is much younger than the person who wrote the letter and myself. Two, he came from the same constituency with the person who wrote the letter. But when Lai Mohammed came, Lai Mohammed, okay, is from Kwara. I said he should go away. He said he is not going. I said, why? He said, let me give him a chance to explain what he wanted to do. I said, okay, go on. He said what he would do, he would not mention names. He would only try to remind Nigerians where the country was when we came in, where we are in now, and what we have done in between with the resources available to us. And eventually, I have to admit he was right and I was wrong. Because a number of people who could get in touch with me said Lai has done a good job. I therefore agree with Lai that the question is to continue to remind people.
The governing APC, the president said, will remain focused in addressing Nigeria's fundamental problems of insecurity, corruption, economy, and joblessness.
On my visit to states, there is nothing that concentrates in my mind like the number of young people on the street. Now, if you think that 10, 15 years, when some of us would have gone, no matter how reluctantly, those chaps are going to face a future where if there's no infrastructure, with the population explosion, we are going to have a problem in this country. Gentlemen, you are all in places of responsibility. You will lead people. Without justice, we are going to have a problem in the next world, more than here. Please keep on telling people, let them make all the sacrifice they can to educate their children. If you educate people, there is a level below which they will not operate. And they will look after themselves. And they will not be susceptible to ethnic and religious manipulation. But when you leave people in ignorance, then you move them left, right, and center, and there will be no progress. You are a crop of leadership of this state. That's why I talk to you on what is worrying me most. let us see how much we can put in education.
President Buhari, however, used the opportunity to commend the people of Bauchi for the show of support, which he described as overwhelming.
I never hired any crowd because I was not in a position to hire them, but I'm very pleased. People voluntarily turn up, challenge the weather in that heat and so on. They are sweating, they remain for hours, and they just wanted to see me and say hello. Now good.
Governor Mohammed Abubakar said Bauchi State cannot thank President Buhari enough for the tremendous benefits derived under his presidency.
We will pray that the Almighty Allah will grant you long life, will grant you good health to enable you carry on the good work that you are doing of salvaging the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The governor reassured the president of continued support and loyalty of the people. From Bauchi, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari is reassuring Nigerians that the unity of the country remains one of the paramount objectives of his administration. This was while receiving a delegation of Tijjaniyya movement led by Sheikh Muhammad Ibrahim Iyas. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari told the delegation that he will continue to do everything within his powers to unite Nigeria. He commended members of the religious group for the peaceful conduct of their last convention and urged them to bring same to bear in promoting peace, unity, and interreligious harmony in the country. He also lauded the movement for complementing government efforts at bringing socio-economic development and stability by encouraging discipline, unity, and spirituality amongst the Ummah. President Buhari promised to seek and uphold justice at all times in service to the nation and humanity. Leader of the group, Sheikh Muhammad Ibrahim Iyas, assured the president of continued support and cooperation in the execution of his noble agenda for the benefit of all Nigerians. He urged the Nigerian leader not to relent in his national salvation drive, but remain accountable, incorruptible, and God-fearing. As he puts it, majority of us are with your government and will totally support your efforts at returning Nigeria to the path of greater progress and development.
We are more than 60 million in this country, the Tijjaniyya order. And we are opening ways for government in order to see naturally how to give us that opening in time to have a positive partnership.
The movement, however, told the president to note that even the Holy Prophet Muhammad was never totally accepted in his lifetime, but only after he had long gone, people saw the wisdom in his preaching and sacrifices. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Council of Ndieze Okigwe Zone has joined other well-meaning Nigerians to support the re-election bid of President Muhammadu Buhari. This was part of the resolutions reached at their monthly meeting held in Okigwe, Imo State. The traditional rulers were drawn from different communities in Okigwe, where issues bordering on the state of the nation and well-being of citizens were discussed. Southeast Monarchs endorsement the call for President Muhammadu Buhari to seek re-election, the royal fathers say, is to enable him sustain the dignity of the country and further put the economy on the path of sustainable growth.
The president has demonstrated an uncommon steps and measures that would certainly restore faith and health in our nation. Our country is being gradually transformed into a modern state with best practices in the conduct of public affairs. We also commend Mr. President for the infrastructure developments in the Southeast region, especially the fast-track work being done on the second Niger Bridge, the Onitsha-Enugu-Port Harcourt federal highways, and the inclusion of the commercial towns of Southeast in the current railway networks.
Use the forum to enumerate some of the developmental strides of the president in the Southeast zone and thanked him for the confidence reposed on their sons and daughters who are members of his team. Also, members of the All Progressives Congress APC FCT chapter has endorsed the second-term bid of President Buhari. This was the outcome of the party's stakeholders meeting with the FCT minister in Abuja. Shuaibu Onoze Yakubo reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari for a second tenure, APC members and stakeholders say is based on the landmark achievements of the president in repositioning the country.
And we are in support of Mr. President to run again.
FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello called on party members to support the president's second-time bid as the party is working to launch the country on the path of growth.
Our objective is that, inshallah, on 29 May 2019 at 10:30 a.m., Eagle Square, he will swear.
This is because he has implemented the programs and decisions of our party, All Progressive Congress.
The stakeholders meeting, which was held ahead of the forthcoming party congresses in the FCT, had in attendance chieftains of the party in the Federal Capital Territory. In Abuja, Shuaibu Onoze Yakubo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC has announced a new date for 2018 ward, local government and state congresses. In a press release signed by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, ward congresses will now hold on 5th of May, local government congresses 12th of May, and state congresses is scheduled for 19th of May 2018. Meanwhile, the date for the National Convention in June will be announced later. A significant milestone to the clean-up of the environment in Ogoni land was achieved today with signing of the escrow agreement meant to govern the operation of the bank accounts into which funds for the program will be paid and dispensed. The step, as stated by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, is a further demonstration of the federal government commitment to its vision for a new Niger Delta and significant in the implementation of the United Nations Environment Report on the cleanup. Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Olawale Edo, says the agreement will provide the basis for efficient, transparent and world-class handling of the funds to be provided by international oil companies, NNPC and other funds attracted for the cleanup.
The signing of the escrow agreement, as noted by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, is a very significant step in the implementation of the United Nations Environment Report on the cleanup of Ogoni land, and an indication that the federal government is sincere with its promises to the people of the region. The takeoff of the Maritime University is a pointer to this, he says.
I just want to emphasize that the government is committed to ensuring that we see that the vision for the new vision for engagement in the Niger Delta is faithfully executed, and again, this is one of those critical components of that engagement, the Ogoni cleanup. Provide the basis for efficient.
Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Ogoni Trust Fund, Olawale Edo, says the escrow agreement and the corresponding bank accounts would provide the basis for efficient, transparent, and a world-class in the handling of funds that are going to be provided by the joint venture partners, that is, the international oil companies, the NNPC, and other funds that may be attracted for the project.
We have already paid out in advance, in anticipation, $10 million so the preliminary activity could start. Now, with the signing of the formal escrow agreement, which governs the bank accounts into which the bulk of the money will be paid, we are now set for the full rollout of the Ogoni cleanup project as put together by HIPREP under the Governing Council. We have $170 million that has already been put in process. That's the first tranche. The drawdown has commenced for that, and imminently the account will be bulging with that sum.
As he says, $1 billion was recommended by the United Nations Environment Report and agreed to by authorities. The rest, he says, would come over the next 4 years. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NT News.
Elsewhere, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has arrived in New York into the waiting arms of global media players who are anxious to get first-hand information about the true position of affairs in Nigeria. Anthony Forson reports.
Having rounded up his Washington media engagement with a live outing at the Washington studios of the Qatar-based news network Al Jazeera, Lai Mohammed was guest at Thomson Reuters headquarters in New York. Thereafter, he proceeded to the New York operational base of the Wall Street Journal. He meandered his way through the ever-busy Manhattan streets. Lai Mohammed came out with a high hope that Nigeria is today the bride of the global media, thirsty to know what the Nigerian success story is all about in the last 3 years.
Reuters was interviewed by Rodrigo, a Colombian, and who, I think by virtue of the fact that from Colombia, actually has a very deep understanding of insurgency. Before 2015, Abuja, the capital territory, was not safe, as the Boko Haram, breached security and, more than 4 or 5 times. But today, between 2015 and today, everybody sleeps with his two eyes closed in Abuja. Generally, I was able to give a good account of what we've done in the economy, in the area of diversification. I told him that our Anchor Bars program has been a big success. It has been able to add an additional almost 6 million rice farmers, and that we've also cut down on importation of rice from 644,000 metric tons to 24 metric tons. We discussed also the issue of corruption and how this government is fighting corruption, and how it is important for us to remain focused, and that most of the attacks we receive today are from people who have morbid fear of the president coming back in 2019. That's really what we discussed.
The minister's engagement in the United States continues. From New York, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
We told you earlier that President Muhammadu Buhari, at a state banquet organized in his honor in Bauchi, says he is not ready to join issues with authors of letters written against this administration. To speak further on this matter, we have in the studio the Special Advisor to President of Media and Publicity, Femi Additional. We're glad to have you in our studio.
Thank you. Good evening.
What is it that is the immediate takeaway from the President's visit to Bauchi?
Well, while we were in Bauchi yesterday, I sent a text message to a friend. And the content of the message was that the traditional 12 million votes that the president usually scores in the north is not only intact, it seems to have increased. That was my message, because the turnout in Bauchi was simply enormous, enormous, enormous. And about 80 to 90% of those who turned out were youths. Some people will have the nation believe that youths were angry with the president. No, I didn't see any angry youth yesterday.
All right.
Rather, I saw enthusiastic youths.
Okay, and then he said he is not ready to join issues with its critics, and those people who are writing all sorts of letters against this administration. What is this saying about this kind of person?
It is showing us that we have a very calm president, a man who takes everything with equanimity. No matter what is the thing that is thrown at him, he's able to absorb and just move on. It takes things in his strides.
Okay.
We have a very calm person as president.
All right. What kind of Nigeria do we still expect from the Buhari-led administration?
The Buhari administration is one that is committed and devoted and dedicated to a new Nigeria. Like I tell some people, Nigeria needs President Buhari more than Buhari needs Nigeria. So he has dedicated his entire life, his time, his being to a new Nigeria. And if he gets a second term as he aspires, it's going to be to the benefit of Nigeria. Nigerians, both now and in the future, would have a lot to benefit from a Buhari presidency.
Talking about a second-term bid for the president, everybody is calling for him to run. How does he feel about this?
You know, it took a while for him to decide to run. Now that he has thrown his hat into the ring, he's all for it, and we want to believe God that everything will go as right as rain.
Thank you very much. We'll be speaking with the Special Advisor to President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina. We're always happy to have you in our studios.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Right, moving on now. The federal government has declared Tuesday, 1st of May 2018 as public holiday to celebrate the 2018 Workers' Day. Minister of Interior Abdurrahman Dambazao, in statement, congratulates Nigerian workers on their loyalty, strength of service and dedication to building a greater nation, while soliciting the continued support of Nigerian workers in government effort to reposition their economy. The minister appreciated the role workers play in government activities and for keeping faith with the present administration in its quest to build a better Nigeria. You're still watching NTA Network News. Nigerians call for safer and healthier workplaces as Nigerian Army set to commence Operation Last Hold in Northeast. Details after these messages. Join us again.
Oh, Chief Mike, how are you?
Fine.
I'm going to Sun office for the certification of my wheat flour.
Oh no, things have changed. Sun has simplified all its activities. You could have even stayed back in Kano and process all your papers online.
Whoa.
With the efforts of Sun, the products of SMEs can now compete globally. Sun has put in place necessary machineries in support of the growth of SMEs. At highly subsidized charges, SMEs can now get their certification, laboratory testing of their products, as well as purchase of standards. Meanwhile, Sun is carrying out massive seizure of substandard goods in the market and have gotten legal backing to prosecute offenders, all to protect consumers and SMEs. Sun, improving life through standards.
Hey, Anu.
Dad.
Look, I got something for you.
A football chassis?
Hey, Adu, come watch a game with your uncle and I.
Please, come. I'm okay, thanks. The kind of person that you asked me to be. My brother say you love me, I love him too. I tell him I will do anything for you. But it's strange.
Just how many goals you have scored?
I no get you. I look up like this, say, who are you?
So, Daddy, you showed those blues Pepe yesterday, right?
You sure did.
Those 3 points are sure for us today.
Remind me how.
Game's about to start. Quick, please.
Inclusive Access Limited invites all stakeholders in the heights and skin value chain to the 4th National Summit on Heights and Skin Subsector. Date: 2nd and 3rd May 2018. Place and venue: Exhibition Pavilion opposite Radio House, Abuja. Guest speaker: the Farmers Champion and Chairman Anchor Boroughs Committee, and special guest of honor, His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Bagudu, Executive Governor, Kebbi State, and all states governors. Guest: all honorable commissioners of Agriculture, Animal Health and Commerce. Hajia Safia Adamu, announcer.
Take a good look at our world today and you'll discover something interesting. More and more drivers are choosing mobile motor oils. You see, as engine performance becomes more important than ever, the vehicle owners are coming to expect more from their engine oils. They're demanding more mileage on a single oil change. They're demanding longer-lasting engines and smoother rides. They're demanding the best. And with Mobile, that's what they get. We raised the bar for motor oils with the Mobile Super 1000. And with the Mobile One, we raised it even higher. And because it's made using the most advanced engineering processes, Mobile motor oils leave your engine super clean, increase its durability, and keep it so well protected, it never stops running. So success for you depends on continuous movement. You need engine oil, engineered for that purpose. Mobile, performance at its best.
Make it mobile.
Do you know that
that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three put
you are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah? I was
welcome.
You take that one. Yeah, that one.
You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. Mobu to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
How they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It boosts our economy and give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Glad to know you're still watching the Network News. The need for collaboration in building a safe and healthy generation devoid of child labor and ensuring safety and health of work is again being stressed. This is the consensus as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to commemorate the Global Day for Safety and Health at Work. Omenka Marachuku completes the report.
World Day for Safety and Health at Work is an annual international campaign to promote safe and health of workers across board. The campaign aims to accelerate action to achieve sustainable development goals and secure working environments for all workers by 2030. The Buhari administration, Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Professor Stephen Ocheni says, has embarked on measures to eliminate child labor and promote a culture of occupational safety.
It is quite commendable what the present administration is doing to improve our workplaces. This government lays emphasis in ensuring greater productivity by first of all ensuring that the workplaces are safe.
Quite a lot that's happening other than just the commemoration of the day today. But ultimately what we want is zero accidents in the workplace in Nigeria. That's our aim.
We are vigorously enforcing to ensure that our workers are protected from injuries, diseases, ill health, or even deaths that can occur, that are related to the work they do.
The day was declared by the International Labour Organization, and the theme for the 2018 celebration is Generation Safe and Health. In Abuja, Omenka Marachuku, NTA News.
And for optimal productivity to be guaranteed among civil servants, government at all levels must eradicate poverty in the system by upward review of salaries and wages of its workers. This dominates submissions at the Northeast Zonal Public Hearing on the proposed new minimum wage held in Gombe. Talatu Lamon reports.
The upward review of the national minimum wage took central stage at the public hearing that brought stakeholders from the northeast of Adamawa, Bauchi, Benue, Taraba, Gombe, and Yobe states. It also highlighted financial positions of government to the payment of salaries of staff.
Presenting their submissions, participants, mostly civil servants and labor leaders, unanimously agreed that the national minimum wage is constitutional, hence the urgent need for its upward review. According to them, the step is apt and hoped that the federal government will consider the submissions made.
From 1st July this year, the new minimum wage will take effect.
Government representatives also agreed that in view of the economic challenges, a minimum of 28,000 naira and maximum of 65,500 naira should be considered as the new minimum wage against the 18,000 naira obtained currently. Chairman of the Tripartite Committee on the Review of the National Minimum Wage, Peter Adeyemi, who received various submissions, expressed optimism on the outcome. In Gombe, I am Talatulamon, NTA News.
And talking security now, additional troops and heavy equipment have been earmarked to beef up those already deployed sequel to Nigerian Army's resolve to ensure that the ongoing Operation Last Hold in the Northeast achieves the desired result. A statement by the Director, Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Texas Chukwu, indicates that the operation, expected to last 4 months, entailed deployment of additional 4 maneuver brigades. The aim of Operation Last Hold is the total defeat of Boko Haram terrorists, with a view to restoring fishing, farming, and other economic activities in the Lake Chad Basin general area. Meanwhile, the Sarkin Hausa of Makudi Alhaji Reyanu Sangani and Te Makudi Sule Abenga have appealed to residents of Benue State to remain peaceful and law-abiding and refrain from peddling rumors that can cause unnecessary tension. The community leaders made their appeal in the wake of rumors of attacks and impending reprisals. In Makudi, Godwin Inalegu has details.
The Sarikin Hausawa Makudi Alhaji Reyanu Sangani maintained that it is only unity and peaceful coexistence among residents of the state that the issue of insecurity being witnessed can be tackled. He said that leaders of the Hausa community and other groups are working with security agencies to ensure safety of all inhabitants, and said reports of attacks on some people are still being investigated.
What I appeal to my people, I assure them that my people cannot respond if they will not react. Even today, they try to do peaceful demonstration, but I stop them.
Te Makudi Chief Sule Abenga also appealed to the people of the state to remain calm and not take the law into their hands, as the government is working round the clock to bring to an end the prevailing security situation in the state.
We are begging our youths to please not create panic.
Meanwhile, today's Jumat prayer was conducted peacefully at various mosques in Makudi, the Benue State capital. Chief Imam, Makudi Central Mosque, Sheikh Lawal Zakaria, enjoined all Muslims in the state to live in harmony with all other people and called on security agencies to bring the perpetrators of all criminal acts to book. Meanwhile, no reports of any fresh violence have been reported in Makudi, contrary to earlier fears in Makudi. Godwin Inalegu, NTA News.
In the meantime, in the wake of recent attack at a church resulting in loss of lives in Benue State, the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has enjoined Christians to continue to pray for national peace and unity and regard the incident as not only a loss to the Christendom, but to the whole country. General Secretary of the Association, Reverend Musa Shake, at a press briefing with journalists, also encouraged the government and security agencies in the country not to rest on their oars in finding lasting solution to the problem of insecurity across the country. He called on the bereaved families in Benue to take solace in the Lord and bury the hatchet, as security is poised to bring the perpetrators of this dastardly act to book. Over now to Jennifer in Lagos to keep us up to speed on federal government commitment to eliminate malaria. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, thank you, Ronke. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. Now, our first story is on health. Nigerians have been charged to maintain good and clean environment to avoid spread of mosquitoes. The Minister of State for Health, Dr. Osage Ehonere, gave the charge at the Forum of Menace of Malaria in Lagos. Nosa Usula reports.
With the outbreak of Zika virus disease in South America, attention turned away from the world's most deadly mosquito-borne disease, malaria. While it's no longer the leading cause of death among children in sub-Saharan Africa, malaria still accounts for 10% of child deaths.
Federal government is first of all working on the primary healthcare system to build up the national health system, and part of it is based on the National Health Act and the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, which is to facilitate setting up healthcare down to the grassroots and exploring, as usual, all methods of research.
The percentages of malaria within the country, within the community, and within the workforce. So in reality, malaria becomes a business issue and a business cost. So it is a business driver, it is a business interest for companies to invest in malaria, because through investment they are improving or decreasing the absenteeism within their workforce, which then translates into productivity, which in the long term translates into economic growth.
The Minister of State for Health also assured Nigerians that the federal government is doing everything within its power to totally eradicate malaria in the country. In Lagos, Nusa Usula, NTA News.
First City Monument Bank, FCMB Group PLC, has assured its shareholders that the group is now better positioned to continue adding significant value to shareholders despite the changing business environment. The management of the bank gave the assurance at its 5th annual general meeting held in Lagos, where it declared 10 kobo dividend per 50 kobo share. Jane Ojuku has the report.
The FCMB Group's audited accounts for the year ended December 2017 reveals a gross revenue of 169.9 billion naira, while its profit after tax stood at 9.4 billion naira. Its deposits grew to 689.9 billion naira, a 5% increase from 657.6 billion recorded the previous year. The group's capital adequacy ratio also improved to 16.9% from 16.7%, just as its asset base grew to 1.19 trillion compared to 1.17 trillion recorded the previous year. The management of the group says it is exploring more opportunities to shore up the capital base of the bank and improve returns to shareholders.
We were able to still maintain a consistent dividend payment. We concluded the acquisition of a majority stake in legacy pension managers. This will help diversify the business.
The largest area of concentration away from oil is agriculture. We are already programmed to take maximum advantage of the potential in that sector.
The shareholders expressed satisfaction with the 10 kobo dividend and renewed their vote of confidence in the bank.
If you look at the fundamentals very well, you know the bank has a very good feature that one can be proud of, and we are going to earn it in the years ahead.
FCMB Group PLC is a holding company comprising 8 entities, which include First City Monument Bank Limited, FCMB Capital Markets, and Legacy Pension Managers Limited. In Lagos, Jane Ojuku, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Please stay with us.
Gentlemen, please welcome the daring and invincible Louis the Mosquito. Responsible for 200 malaria cases all on its own. Is there anything that can kill Louis? Morphine! Presenting Mortine's Power Guard. Its powerful formula kills malaria mosquitoes fast. So, get Mortine's Power Guard.
Caring for the patients of typhoid and diarrhea is our responsibility. And these illnesses are often spread due to eating with unclean hands. So I recommend Dettol, as it protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs. That's why I want to be Dettol sure. Dettol, the 100% sure.
Dettol soap is now also available for 100 naira only.
My father said opportunity knocks every minute. He used to say to me that even the rising sun is an opportunity. A man must give each day everything. I live by those words. Just 1 minute of one day can change everything. Every day he stepped out with the belief that today might just be that day.
At FCMB, we believe every day is a new opportunity. Let's help you step forward and take it. FCMB, my bank and I.
Your perfect family is under threat by germs. Infectious diseases are now the world's biggest killer of adults and children. Every day, 16,000 children under the ages of 5 and thousands of adults die from infectious diseases. These infectious diseases are caused by germs. They are everywhere. An average human being comes in contact with over 1 million germs daily. In unclean water, dirty surfaces, in the toilet, on cuts and wounds, on your clothes. Germs can cause deadly diseases like typhoid, diarrhea, flu, and cough. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's 1 Cap Full for surface cleaning, in your bathing water, in your laundry water, for first aid, to protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol Sure. Endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association.
And talking business now, Central Bank of Nigeria limits internet banking transactions to 100,000 naira per day. Let's join Amina Nojin for details and other stories.
Effective from June this year, bank customers will not be able to use unstructured supplementary service data channel to conduct transactions more than 100,000 naira per day. Many commercial banks allow various limits ranging from 100,000 to 500,000 and above in some cases. The policy shift was in furtherance of CBN's mandate to develop and enhance security of the electronic payment system. The implementation of the policy starts 1st June 2018. Now, the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Dr. Mekanti Baru, says the corporation aims to make Nigerian Petroleum Development Company the #1 in exploration and production. Dr. Baru, while noting that the company is on a growth path and its processes and procedures are fully in line to ensure that it delivers on its mandate set by NNPC, added that the NPDC production level was significantly growing and would soon hit the 500,000 barrels per day target from its current 230,000 barrels per day. In the equities market, the O-share index appreciated by 1.15% to close the week at 41,244.89 basis points. 319 million equities were traded, valued at 2.795 billion naira in 3,863 deals. Mutual Benefit Assurance PLC, FNB Holding and Zenith Bank were the most traded stocks. International Breweries consolidated Hallmark Insurance PLC led the gainers table, while Fort Oil led the losers chart. That wraps up business news. Good evening.
And in other news, the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, NCPC, has convened a meeting in Abuja to strategize ways towards the success of the forthcoming Christian pilgrimage to the Holy Land. Miriam Akwata has the details.
Chairman of the State Christian Pilgrims Welfare Board attended the meeting, during which deliberations on ways towards having a hitch-free forthcoming pilgrimage were held. Addressing the media at the end of a closed-door meeting, the Executive Secretary of the National Christian Pilgrims Commission, Reverend Tor Uja, says one of the fundamental aspects of the conference is to re-echo the essence of pilgrimage as an exposure for the pilgrim on the values of life in man's total submission to God and supplication. He therefore enjoined Christians and Nigerians in general to believe in their country and be law-abiding and work for the benefit of humanity, as service to humanity is service to God.
We should stand up in the height of Christian character and show love and show commitment to our nation.
He called on church leaders to be good shepherds to their flocks and work towards ensuring peace and unity in the country. In Abuja, Miriam Akbata, NTA News.
The role played by the Nigerian Air Force in counterinsurgency operations and securing the country's airspace and territorial integrity cannot be overemphasized. This is evident by the successes recorded by the armed forces in degrading insurgency in Nigeria. Olajide Bello reports that as part of activities celebrating its 54th anniversary, a Jumat prayers was held in Abuja to pray for national peace, progress and stability of the country.
We normally celebrate it with prayers for the leadership of this nation, and of course the leadership of the Nigerian Air Force and for the officers and men of the Nigerian Air Force. So in essence, we are using this medium to tell everybody in this country that this nation called Nigeria is a trust bequeathed on us by God Almighty.
The Nigerian Air Force was established on April 18, 1964, with the passage of the Air Force Act by the National Assembly. Time to join Sokoto Network Center for news making the rounds. Salamoto is standing by.
Thank you, Ronke, and a warm welcome to Sokoto. Kebbi State is now collaborating with UNICEF towards improving healthcare system and reducing maternal mortality rate caused by preventable diseases in the state. Osman Abdullah Shehu reports that already a special task force on child survival has been launched to facilitate the partnership. His report.
Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu expressed dismay on Kebbi State being among the states with the highest level of mortality from preventable diseases in the country, saying henceforth his administration is determined to reverse the situation. The governor, who expressed keen interest of government and stakeholders to address the challenges, announced the immediate takeoff of a 3-month health program to address the issue.
Starting with a retreat where we will agree an action program. I'm sure she has seen the commitment of Kebbi on display today.
In their separate presentations, the UNICEF Chief of Health, Dr. Sanjana Badwaj, and the Emir of Argungu Alhaji Samaila Muhammadu Mera emphasized the need for collective effort to address the challenges of all preventable diseases that cause loss of many lives in the state. The Commissioner of Health, Alhaji Umar Usman Kamboza, said, with the unfavorable indicators, one cannot pretend to say health sector is okay, describing healthcare issue as multisectoral that requires support of all. Many stakeholders at the occasion expressed their support for any program implemented with the aim to improve healthcare service delivery. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
Rehabilitation and more roads, federal roads, have commenced in Sokoto State. Abdurrahman Usman Jubrila reports that the recent one is the Usman Danfodio University Sokoto Road, which has been abandoned for many years.
University Kwalkwalawa Road is the only link to Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto and other communities of Nundaye, Gombrawa to Kwari and Ilele local government areas of Sokoto State, stretching up to Niger Republic. All attempts by successive governments to rehabilitate the road was not successful until recently the Buhari administration awarded the contract for the total rehabilitation of the road. The road, before the commencement of the work, has caused untold hardship to students and other other communities plying the roads.
Before we are suffering in terms of even to sit down in a car, before you reach where you wanted to go, you will feel exhausted.
So we hope these projects will make it easier for the student to be coming in the easy way into the university.
We thank God and thank federal government for doing this road.
And then now that, alhamdulillah, the fundings have been available, it is only sensible that this job is done and completed within a short period.
It is expected that the work will be completed before the third quarter of the year. In Sokoto, Abraman Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
That's a bit from Sokoto. We now pause for some commercial messages, after which the news continues with Ronke in Abuja. Do stay tuned.
Your perfect family is under threat by germs. Infectious diseases are now the world's biggest killer of adults and children. Every day, 16,000 children under the ages of 5 and thousands of adults die from infectious diseases. These infectious diseases are caused by germs. They are everywhere. An average human being comes in contact with over 1 million germs daily. In unclean water, dirty surfaces, in the toilet, on cuts and wounds, on your clothes, germs can cause deadly diseases like typhoid, diarrhea, flu, and cough. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's 1 Cap Full for surface cleaning in your bathing water, in your laundry water, for first aid, to protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol Sure. Endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher.
They hold us from the sea. Thank God that we came back home. They should not go there because it's not good. It's a very bad place. So they just may have us.
Even now, sir, they are shooting the boat they are going to use to go Italy. May they stop it. Our country is good. Our country is a blessed country. Now I know our country is a blessed country. I know before I for not travel from Nigeria to Libya. I know how much I spent.
Let these personal experiences serve as a lesson to all who would repeat their mistakes. A word is enough for the wise.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
And now to sports. Supreme Court rules on NFF leadership tussle as 2018 Nigeria Premier Handball League kicks off in Abuja. Ayodeji Makinde brings us details on Sports Update.
The Supreme Court of Nigeria Friday in Abuja ordered the retrial of the case between NFF President Amaju Pinnick and the embattled NFF factional leader Chris Giwa at the Federal High Court in Jos.
Even if they are going back for a trial, those orders made by the Federal High Court, Jos, removing and setting aside the Congress upon which Amaju Pinnick was elected, those orders are still valid and subsisting by the judgment of the Supreme Court of today.
Meanwhile, the Amaju Pinnick-led board of the Nigeria Football Federation via its Twitter handle says the Apex Court's verdict does not imply Amaju's removal from office. 34 professional golfers from 8 countries have begun the chase for the $25,000 purse prize of the 3rd West Africa Golf Tour Port Harcourt Classic, which teed off Thursday. Omobolanle Obayomi reports that the tournament climaxes Saturday.
It's a way of exposing talents. It's a way of bringing international competition and prominent people into a particular community.
A league management board has been constituted in Abuja ahead of the 2017-2018 Kwese Premier Nigeria Basketball League, which tips off May the 6th with 16 teams in contention.
I am telling you that Kwese Premier Basketball League, by the grace of God, has come to stay. The task is now our own to prepare our teams.
12 male and 10 female teams are competing in the 2018 Nigeria Premier Handball League, which kicked off in Abuja Friday with Plateau Vipers in yellow, losing 23-30 goals against Kada Stars, just as Seasiders Babes of Lagos in blue lost 22-32 goals to Kada Queens.
I've already prepared my team. All I know when I come here, I'm going to beat the teams.
The league ends May 6. With sports updates, Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
And let's quickly check on weather forecast for Saturday.
Thanks for joining us on